Good morning, everyone. Boy, I love finding muted mics and doing really good. Sketchy Leo, welcome aboard. Got a seat for you on the flight down to Killeen, Texas, otherwise known as the Hood, Fort Hood, that is. Anyway, yeah, it's been a fun morning here. All of a sudden, I keep finding mics muted, and I think we're finally rolling here. Wow. But anyway, we're on the deck here at Mid-America Airport outside of St. Louis, here in Mascoutah, Illinois, or Lebanon, depending how you want to look at it. That's also how you look at the airport, too. But anyway, we got North American lined up for today in the 767 from Flight Factor. Great airplane. I've been enjoying flying this plane. Also, Flight Factor's A320. So, not going to get a lot of bad things out of me about these aircraft. Some little quirks that get me from here that, like trying to load it today. We had a fun time, but I think we're ready to go. Now, if I could just wake up. No, sorry for that yawn, folks. All right, so there it is, the 767. We got the loaders hooked up. We are set up in gate configuration to try to make it a little easier to load today instead of putting the stairs out with that jetway so close and all that good stuff. So what we're going to do is hop up into the cockpit and we're going to start pre-flighting the aircraft. We are cold and dark. Let me first bring up the AFB. This is the tablet that comes with the aircraft. It's set right now on the ops ground. And this is the options you get. Here's the important part where all the people are loaded. The flight plan calls for 222 peeps to be loaded aboard, troops, however you want to call it. Hang on a second. And let me just check something here. 245, 420. Okay, so that is correct. So basically, yeah, as you can see, I've obviously got some work to do with SimBrief and this aircraft to figure out why the operating weights are off so much. But I can tell you that there is a dog. Yes, we're dog sitting. No worries about him. 210 pounds is what Flight Factor puts for the weight of the people. I have to go in and make sure I have the correct operating empty weight so we can make sure all of this loads properly, because I actually dropped, what's that, about 18 people from the flight to get it down to the zero fuel weight. So, all right, so looking at this, I am going to go ahead and bring some Toolkit aboard here. There we go. And let's try and size it if we're able. to where we'll be able to side by side here. Hang on a second. It is really being obnoxious right now. Okay, there we go. We'll give that a try. All right, so there's Sim Toolkit. Sim Toolkit shows us, as you can see, 222 people. The zero fuel weight for the flight is going to be 245,420 pounds. Good thing is, with the 767, hallelujah, sorry Europeans and everyone else in the world, we're on pounds and not metrics. Oh, kilograms can be so hard to figure in your head. Although, really, kilograms are just about double the weight. So, in this case, divide by 2, and you're pretty close to kilograms. As I found out one night in the truck. But anyway, that's a story long ago told. We're not going to tell again. Uh, One other good thing here with Sim Toolkit, besides the weights that we're going to run here, you get the fuel. We're going to be putting on 33,976 pounds. And as you look, you see that here. Now, we couldn't put 222 on. Like I said, it blew us way out. So 18 were subtracted, and we're headed on with what we have here. Okay, so from this point here, once we have those figures put in, oh, and that also brought us up 180 pounds of cargo. Remember, I told you it's 210 pounds a person. That's why there's not another body used. All right, so we are at 245,000 on the zero fuel. We got the proper fuel in here. Let's simply click load, and that will begin loading the aircraft. Okay, which also, by the way, is the first step in our checklist for this aircraft, is the preliminary aircraft prep. And that basically calls for us to set up the chocks, the loaders, the GPU, the fuel truck, the gate, and I'm in gate configuration. Otherwise, we'd have to have stairs in the bus. Again, not a lot of room here. And then finally, the air conditioning unit. Now, it's going to be loading for a little bit. Now, it says at the end of this, we can set the path for pushback, which we could. We'll do all of that when we get to the pushback. I'll probably forget, and yeah, we all know how that goes. So what I'm going to do, simply click the X on the um, electronic flight bag, and we're going to press on with the cockpit safety check. Oh, one thing before we do. Let me get that pulled back up here. By the way, it's at the bottom of your plugins. In order to load your airplane, you have to either be in gate config, or if you're not, you have to have the stairs and the bus out there to be able to put people on board. You also have to have the fuel truck if you're putting fuel on board. And I don't think there's anything else. But those are required. So just remember, if you're in stair configuration, which we probably will be at Killeen, when we're loading for the next flight, we'll have to have the bus there. Fuel truck to get the fuel on, and the LSU to get the cargo on. Okay, I didn't want to leave without mentioning that. This one, while complicated in getting that zero fuel weight right, a little bit more understandable than the cargo version. The cargo version's a little more tricky to work with. We'll deal with that on the next cargo flight. All right, so Sketchy Leo, I hope you're enjoying the flight, but we're going to kick off here and start doing the cockpit safety check first thing out of the blocks. Let's make sure that parking brake's on. Even though the chocks are there, let's go ahead and set the brakes. Okay, kind of looking down here. Let's make sure we're in test or off. We do not have the off button on the radar, which is over here. So we're good to go there. Let's hop up to the overhead. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's make sure the gear handle's down. Now these aren't on the checklist. These are things I've learned with other planes. Let's make sure. You're not going to see, obviously, 3 green, no batteries on yet. So we're going to push up now to the top. Another thing, let's make sure the wiper's off. Now let's push over here and get the batteries turned on. So the battery switch is right under this timer. May or may not be on the newer versions a timer there. It's not on the LDS version for FSX. And I think it's available for prepared, but I don't know. Anyway, so we open the lid and click on. And you're going to hear the beep and some stuff light up. We're going to turn standby power to auto. And then right here, again, make sure the wiper is off. And then we're going to click the external power located right below the standby power and battery to on. The other half is the APU. We get to that once the APU is fired up. Okay, so we're on here. Next steps are the left and right bus ties. Left and right utility. They're kind of weird. 2 out, 2 in. Now, little trickiness here on the next one. Do not open the lids and click the gen disconnects here. Click on the outside buttons. You're going to see off and on. Only reason it says off is, if you haven't figured it out, the engines aren't on yet. So the gens are not on, connecting it to the bus. And the bus is simply the electrical system in the aircraft. Kind of imagine lines running down, everything's tied to it in parallel. You know, any of you in electrics, that's as far as I'm going to go with electrics. Okay, and finally, we're going to make sure the emergency light's right up here, the guard's closed and on, and no warning light. There you go, folks. The safety check's complete. Now we can begin to look at powering up the FMC setup. First thing we're going to do is set our panel lights. And I really don't know what does what here, so I try to get things up and running in a decent way. Let's kind of look down here real quick, make sure things are readable. Looks pretty good for now. And I'm going to go ahead and just wiggle this to get that on. Okay, so we're back up top here, and I'm going straight to the on looking at it. Next up, we're going to do the wing and logo lights. Position, wing, and logo. Position, wing, and logo. Now, one thing I do here that isn't on the checklist is I get air flowing into the cabin now. So here shortly, we can begin to actually physically board our passengers, even though technically it says I have. Okay, so what I've done is the forward, mid, aft cab, they're all to 12 o'clock auto, as is the cabin temp, which is right below the trim air and recircs. All of those knobs were moved to the 12 o'clock auto position. Then I turned the trim and the left and right recirculators on, and then the packs. Left and right isolation. And you can kind of hear it in the background there, but the air is flowing into the cabin now. And that's off that ACU or air conditioning unit located right here behind engine number 1, pushing air right in there. Okay, so that's my start to the FMC setup. Now, what we do from here, we move over and go align, nav. These are the IRS units. align nav, align nav. Now, if you want to know how long it's going to take to align, simply place your mouse up here, and you're going to want to scroll to, I believe it's HDG is where it actually lines up at. But basically, it's going to give you the number there, 7 minutes to align. Okay, and now you see them all physically in a line. So let's press on down and get the FMCs going. As with, and you gotta love the humor of Flight Factor. These are not McDo's, these are CDUs. But you gotta love that they put McDo on them. Likewise, in this checklist, on the Airbus, they call the McDo's FMCs. I find the humor. Most people don't. Don't worry. If you didn't get it, no problem. But what we're gonna do is click FMC. That's going to bring us here to show us the model, the engines. Make sure your RNAC is up to date. We are. It happened May 20th last week. And the next one will be June 17th. We get the next update. Okay. Pushing on. We click, hang on, I'll just pull up the other one. I lost what I clicked. Position and INT. So we'll put in KBLV. Now, if you want to go look at the next 3 pages, you can check to see if this GPS setting here matches these. They do. Okay, so we've got that in. Technically, when the IRS inertial nav systems reach 0, they are now going to align. But we're going to have KBLV as the origin. KGRK, and I'm just making sure I did that right. I did, okay. Now the flight number we're going to run under is RCH-18. We are flying for Sim Air Force. This is a Civil Reserve Air Fleet or flight. Basically, the craft flights fly passengers and cargo when the military either can't or prefer them to haul it. So we're in that situation. We're bringing 204, I think it was, I said we can haul now, to Fort Hood. Don't have a company route because it is a super long route, folks. It's only 600 miles. Now, if this was Europe, that could be an armload of airways and fixes. In the US, it's a couple of fixes. So we're going to click next page, and we're going to start putting that in. Pardon that mute there. I had to cough. Okay, so first off is going to be MAP. And if you're looking on the, if you go back in the chat room, you'll actually see the route. We'll put the Lindy 7 on it afterwards. So we start with map. Next up is Fort Smith, Arkansas, or Fox Sierra Mike. Don't know what act is. My guess is maybe Waco or thereabouts. Let's see. Yep, Waco. Making sure I didn't miss any. Map, FSM, ACT. Okay. Boom. Folks, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and activate because I know that's all there is. All right, so we'll can't click next page, so click route. Now, what we'll be doing here is putting the runway in. When this was first set up this morning, the active runway was 32 right. Now that there's a bit of a breeze out there, I believe we're now running on 14 left. We're going to double check here real quick. get the latest METAR. It's back to calm again. And that's as of 14:56, a half hour or so ago. So we're going to still go with 1.4 left. All right, so departure, arrival, Lindy, map, 1.4 left. You're going to see selects on all of them until we execute. And then we come back to route. Feel free to put 1.4 left if you're so inclined there. And there you go, folks. You have got the route into the system. Now, let's go ahead and start the initialization. We're waiting on the alignment. Let's see how much longer we have to wait. 3 minutes. And if we have to, all I'm going to do is fill in and not go any further from this page. So to fill in, we just click the line select key next to 0 fuel weight. Our reserve for today is 14.3. And I have had Sim Toolkit up here the whole time. Well, good for me, because right now I'll explain where I get that 14.3. I'll put that in. Now let me explain. Okay. Is it going to really show it here? No, not really. So let me switch to this view. Okay. Yeah, I guess it did. All right, so our final reserve, 5669, from basically we take 5.6 and minus it from 8, or add to 8.7, and that gives us 14.3, folks. What I'm doing is making sure I have enough fuel to reach my alternate and still have, when I touch down at Oklahoma City, enough fuel to add up to 45 minutes. That's FAA requirements in the US. So, all right, real quick from here, we're taking off 1.4 left. It's 459 feet above sea level on a heading of 138.5, and it's 10,000 feet. It's almost 2 miles long. Plenty of runway, good day to fly. So there we go. And again, checking to see if they've got the, now see, they've got an hour old where it says 170 at 3. And that's why I'm going with 1.4. So again, Sim Toolkit lately has been running late. Now I'm not going to forget this time. And I do apologize. There wasn't a whole lot you missed in there. But I want to make sure from here on you do get to see it. All right, so again, looking up top, we're down to 1 minute here in the display window. In case you didn't see that, we just rolled this down till the number came up. It's about to align here. So we'll see that happen. And basically what happens is the PFD becomes active that we can see, and the nav data comes into the screen here. While we wait, let's go ahead and plug in the altitude of 36,000. And all I got to do is put 360, folks. Cost index, I believe we mentioned, is 30. Not what I usually like to run with it, but that's what SimBrief came up with. Should be aligning any, oh, it's starting to. There we go. See the differences now? The nav data is filled in, the PFD's in, and a couple of other things. I'll go ahead and turn the engine switch here, which is this first one, on. Actually, we'll put her on status because the APU is coming up to start here real soon. All right, so now with everything aligned, I'll go on to the takeoff page. In the takeoff page, you can see We can click right next to CG, that fills it in. Our trim is 2.0 right now. I'm going to click to the next page and let's try something here. Now you're not going to be able to see this. I'm just using TopCat and we're going to do a weather update here. Now we're still getting calm winds. Okay, we're going to go with the 170.03. Okay, you can enter this number if you know how to. I think if I do it up or D that would work, but we're not going to worry about it. Acceleration height, we'll leave it at that. Outside air temperature 25 degrees. They're showing 27. We'll go with what the airplane says. Okay, come back. Now, turn those off for now. Okay, we're not going with flaps 15, I'm here to tell you. So what we're going to do is go up here, we're going to pull some information real quick. Still auto is 0, variable 27, okay. So takeoff data is, okay, we're going to be doing a, don't think it's going to let me put this in, but we'll give it a try. A D rate of 70. Oh, it did. With flaps 5. Okay. Now the reason I just turned those on, I wanted to see what the reference speeds would be, and they're not the same. All right, so we're looking at 135 for V1. Turn those off since they're not even close. 138 and 143. Folks, we're really not as heavy as you think. So, I didn't click the right one. There we go. Okay, gross weight's 279.4, and we are set up here. Last thing I like to do is get my speeds in here. 143 plus 10 is what I like. 138 on this. And they actually like the checklist does this before taxi. I'd rather have it ready to go. And 36,000. Getting there, folks. All right, we'll get the left and the right on. I wonder why they won't go to auto yet. Okay, that's fine. And that, folks, takes care of the FMC/McDo. Now on the other one, what I'll do is click progress. 628 is pretty close to our mileage. It take 85 miles to top a climb. And let's set it up on climb, and transition altitude looks good. Okay, there we go, folks. That sets up the FMC. We can begin, actually we'll begin boarding here momentarily. Let's head back up top here. So we need to get now the cockpit ready for flight, and we're going to start on the upper panel, work our way down to the middle panel. So again, we're aligned. So what I'm going to do, bring us back to our coordinates. Yaw dampers will come on. The electric engine controls can go to normal. Now, for hydraulic pumps, C1, C2, these are the electrics. They get turned on. The demands are the switches down here. They go to auto. Engines will come on once we fire the engines up. Okay, coming down the next one, we can see our cargo doors and main entry door lights are still lit. Perfect. They're still open. That's a good thing. If the battery switch needs to have the cover over it just in case. There are no covers here on these except for these. Do not touch them. There's our APU we'll be coming back to momentarily. Okay, coming down the next panel. Aft, forward, bulk, turned on. Today is the 24th, so we're going to set this to the even number 2 for our ignition. Fuel pumps right now we're not going to worry about. Passenger sides, let's go ahead, keep coming down. Our anti-ice stays off. Position, wing lights are on, and all of the other lights off. Okay, next panel. We come down is the left and right window heat on. No smoking on, and I'll go ahead and turn seatbelts on. Again, even day for pressure. On an odd day, I would run the ignition on 1 and pressure on 1, even days on 2. Just an easy way to set that up, folks. And our landing altitude needs to be set. And I still have that set up. Oh my goodness. My bad, folks. Sorry about that. Again, we just move this switch back up to the levers, turn the yaw dampers on, turn the engine electric continuous on, 1 and 2 hydraulics here on the C. Check these. Aft forward bulk on. Set the engine start to number 2. No fuel at this time. Anti-ice is off. And we check to make sure our position, wing, and logo are on and the rest are off. Window heats both sides on. And we've got our cabin signs on. Sorry that SimBrief stayed up so long. Told you I'd forget it. And even when I did it a second time, man. Well, I'm not bringing Sim Toolkit up for this. Elevation 1015. So we're just setting this to 1015. Some people will set it to the arrival, to the destination, the departure airport, just in case they come back. Okay, continuing down, equipment cooling should be in auto. And then we set our cabin, which I'll set to medium, charts, and dome. All right, now we've already done most of this side here, folks. So, but we're going to recheck just to make sure. Forward cabin, mid cabin, aft cabin, forward cabin does include the cockpit, all set to auto. Temperatures should be pretty close to the same. Next up, trim air, left and right recirculating fans on. Cabin supply or cabin temp to auto. Again, auto is 12 o'clock, folks. Finally, make sure the packs are both on auto. And folks, we are to the point where we can actually fire up the APU. Now, one quick note here. I don't know about the old Captain Sim one or the new one, but for sure the LDS, this feature, the cockpit voice recorder, can be tested. However, you can't in X-Plane. Sorry, folks. Okay, so I just closed the lid on the isolation valve for the APU. Okay, so to start the APU, it's a very simple process in the Boeings, folks. First off, of course, we need fuel. So let's turn left and right on. The nice thing about the 7.5 and the 7.6, This fuel panel is right here to tell you what has fuel, what doesn't. 0 in the center, we don't have to turn it on. Okay, now what we're going to do, simply move the APU valve to on, then start. And then I'm going to drop down to the panel here, and we're going to actually watch it start firing up here, and there it goes. Basically, it runs a quick test and starts opening the valve. Or not the valve, the flap, so the air comes in for it to fire up. And while we're watching, you can see a lot of data using the AFB can be put on here to help you with the airplane, from fuel flows to tire pressure or temperatures to cargo heats and so forth. This is the status display page. Okay, and we're up to 80. Now I just heard that click. That's telling us the aircraft has now moved over. The start switch has moved back to run. While we're here, it's an annoyance to me. I have to fix it. Okay, and then we'll get the ranges later. Okay, so we're at 100% back up top. With us being at 100% and the word run here, let's click the generator on. Let's click the APU bleed valve on. And there you go, folks. We are now, as soon as I go off the internal power, you'll see the flickering. That's switching the bus from the generator, external generator, to the internal power of the APU. Currently, we are fully running on APU in the aircraft. All right, so that brings us now to the pushback, folks, and we've done it in about 40 minutes. I'm actually tickled about that. So let's come down and start buttoning up the airplane. So we're going to now once again bring up the electronic flight bag, go to the ground, and what I'm going to do is put us back outside, and we'll get rid of the ACU, the fuel truck, GPU, and the LSUs. We'll switch over to the airplane. Now you can see what we have left. Well, you can't see the front door. Hang on a second. Let me kind of move things around. Kind of barely see it here, folks. Let me get us right up. There you go. There's one of the cargo doors. There's the main door. Let's close the main door. And folks, it goes up and down. It does not come out to you. So just so you're aware of what 767s are like. We'll slide over to here, come up a little, and now we'll close up the others. Okay, and then I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, chocks. We'll go ahead and remove them because we're going to immediately call the plus the parking brakes on, so we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the AFB, come back inside. I've got my ACARS system already running. I'm just going to do a quick check on my part to make sure it's showing up on the map, and I am. All right, so With the ground equipment clear, doors all closed, you can see all warning lights are off up here. We're going to click the beacon on. And first things first, let's get that tug on its way. So we go to Better Pushback, and I just simply click Start Pushback.
Route cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
And when you get this kind of weird setup here, click Delete, and that gets rid of the old. And we're just going to push back into this corner a little bit. Just left click your mouse, enter.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
And then we just wait on the pushback. Now while we're waiting, I am going to zoom in a little. We're going to set the altimeters to 3019. You're going to see a warning come up, out disagree, and I'll explain while we're waiting. Okay, and I'll get this one to agree. Okay, so these two are set up correct. The one that disagrees is the flight first officer. Now, this set screw right above the altimeter, upper right-hand corner. You see the arrow? Click. It'll say it's gone, and that is because they now agree. So
it makes it simple. All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So that part's completed. Left and right packs will need to be turned off, and as soon as he tells us, we'll get the parking brake off. But for now, we'll leave the packs on for passenger comfort till we're ready to start. And for those of you that want to see the tug hooked in, there he is, lifting the nose gear up right now so that he can push us.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, before we do that now, I'll turn the packs off. Parking brake is right here, and away we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
While I'm here, all right, let's start up number 2. To do that, we just move it 2 clicks to the left to GRND. Come down, switch to engine. What we're doing is waiting for it to get past this magenta line. That'll be 20%, by the way. We're very close to it. Then we just move the fuel control switch to run. And then we start seeing everything start lighting up.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, and parking brake is now set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Come in here and zoom in. Still spooling, so we just kind of wait for it to settle down. Okay, there you go, folks. Number 2 engine is running. We're going to do exactly the same thing here once we say, yeah, you can go ahead and do your disconnect. Okay, so in the real world, they would stay connected till you're hooked up because they may have to pull you in. Okay, and we're crossing the magenta line. to run.
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
And as always, thanks for flying with Mike. We thank you, too. All right, we're going to wait for him to come over. But as you can see, it's spooling up. Now you're going to see this thing flicker. There it is right there. That's the gens coming on. To confirm that, we'll look up here real quick. What was off, on, they're now on. And the bus ties are on auto. Whoop, went too far. Sorry, folks. There's our tug. Must have missed it. Anyway, what we were waiting for was to let us know the pin's out. Pin's out. We're good to go. We'll fire. Let's continue the engine start or after engine start check. Parking brake set. Tow vehicle sent away. Now we can turn on our left and right hydraulic pumps. Okay. Anti-ice, if we need it, we can now turn on. These are your engines. These are your wing. 2 buttons for the engines, only 2 engines, 1 for the wings. Okay, then we're going to come over here, left and right bleed airs on. Packs on to auto, I'm sorry. Lights will go out. Okay, next up we turn the APU bleed off. And then we turn the APU itself off. And then the gen. And there you go, folks. You've got the 767 all started up, ready to go. All we have left is a few things with the before taxi, and then we're ready to go, folks. 52 minutes into the stream. Okay, so back down here. There we go. What do we still show going on up here? Oh, that's because the gen's winding down, or will be here shortly. Okay, always want to check when you see that. Auto brakes located right below, and this is just a digital display of these two combined. Make sure that goes down to RTO. Taxi lights will come on momentarily. Altimeters are already set. We've got to get our left and right VOR DME should be in auto, and they are. Okay, hang on, I can't see the other one. Both in auto. Flight director and MCPs are set. Stab trim set to 2 units. Okay. We'll get it close. More than likely, we're going to be pulling that back up. Okay. EFIS control. We're set for 200 on our decision altitude. Range set to 20. That comes up 1 notch. Mode set to map. Finally, we leave the terrain and weather off. Weather on the weather radar. Okay, now we're going to set flaps to 5. Okay, and speed brakes are down. Now, what needs to be done is we need to check our surfaces. So to do that, we switch to status again. These are our surfaces: aileron, ailerons, elevator, rudder. So let's go to the left. We make sure it comes to the center when we let go. Okay, we're going to go up. Again, back to the center. down, back to the center. Left on the rudder, right on the rudder. Okay, and now if you notice up here, you see the APU gen off message is gone. That's because the APU is turned off. Put this back to engine. Folks, we're ready to taxi. And let's make sure, as we did not do yesterday, that we don't have ATC. All right, looking at the map here, what I'm going to do this real quick and hopefully not forget again. Browser. Okay. All right, so here is what I'm looking at. And this is kind of a new VATSIM serve info kind of deal, VATSPY, whatever you want to call St. Louis. There's our airplane. We're going to somewhere between Waco and Austin. All right, but in between, what I wanted to show is a lot of thunderstorms. Not granted, they're scattered about here in Arkansas, pushing through Oklahoma, but there's really some good lines here. Reason for all of that, and it's probably not showing up. There's actually a tropical wave here in the Gulf that's been pumping these up here for the last couple of days. It's a invest, and people over at Biloxi might be flying into it here soon. Probably not, because it doesn't look very organized. Believe it or not, there's already been a tropical storm for the year, Anna, out in the Atlantic. Just like last year, we already had one. So anyway, folks, that's what I wanted to kind of show here. This is all of that moisture and why this thing isn't getting wrapped up into a storm here in the Gulf. So, but anyway, you can see no ATC. That's the other good thing. All right, so let's clear that out. Doing that right now. All right. This time I did not forget. Hang on a second. I want to check one thing here before we do get underway. Okay, so we are now ready to start our taxi. All we're going to do is turn off the parking brake and turn on our taxi lights. There we go. Here we go. And again, we show 5 on the flaps here. Let me straighten up a little here. See if this helps us any down here. That didn't. All right. All right, folks, we are taxiing to runway 14 left as we speak. Okay, we're on Kilo 4, taxiing up to taxiway Kilo, down to Kilo 1 to get on 14 left. All right, folks, we're at the end of the runway, or pretty doggone close. There's Kilo 2. Kilo 1 stares us down. We got a couple of checks here before we can take off. All right, so we're going to slow down here. All right, so we want to make sure, get in the cockpit here. The speed brakes are down, flaps are set at 5. We want to make sure we turn on the auto throttle. LNAV, VNAV. We're going to go ahead and come to a halt here. All right, but what we are going to be doing on takeoff, we'll kind of get into this here in a second. And transponder to TARA. All right. And I just zoomed in so we could check the column. Flaps are set. Okay. Oh, we're still moving. All right, that means parking brake comes on. Okay, so let's, well, we're gonna bring up the, hang on a second here, get the right page up here for us. Oop, wrong one. Where is it hiding? All right, so BLV GRK. There we go. All right, so let's get this slid over for y'all. Now, again, we're not using Navigraph for a while until things change, because it's really annoying, and hopefully they'll change their ways. But we're going to bring up the, and I've got it set to sectional, so you get an idea what the lay of the land looks like. Heading down here, there's, I believe, Dallas. And we got to kind of pull out a little. But there's where we're headed. It's IFR right now. Overcast 600 feet, 100 winds 130 at 6. So you can pretty well bet we're going to fly an ILS into there. All right, so let's pull up Scott and pull up the Lindy 7 departure. Okay. So we're these two runways right here, folks. Now the Lindy 7 actually starts in St. Louis and works its way out to these transitions. We're going to Maples. So we're going to be taking off on 14 left. We're going to turn, probably head to Wesco or direct Maples. We'll find out. We'll see. We're not going to turn for St. Louis. That's behind us, actually. Worst case scenario, we might go to SAGME. But anyway, there's pretty much it. There's no altitude restrictions. So let's close this up and pull this away. And that's pretty much it, folks. We'll go over the V speeds yet one more time as soon as I get this to click out. Okay, V speeds, we'll take a look right down here. 135, 138, 143. So that pretty much takes care of our pre-brief. Let's get headed to the runway. Mid-America traffic, reach 18, departing runway 14, Lindy 7, Maples transition. Okay, and one thing we didn't go over with our takeoff information is how much runway we plan to eat. Hang on a second. There we go. And I'm just kind of doing two things here at once. Okay, we should have about 2,300 feet of runway left if everything sets up like it's supposed to. Remember, it's a takeoff D of temperature of 70. So we'll see if we hit the right numbers, which I'll give you here as soon as we line up and come to rest. Okay, we're coming around. Think I overshot. We'll find out. Oh yeah, we did. Actually, not by much. Okay, parking brake set. Okay, what we're going to be watching for here, folks. N1 98.9. That's what I'm talking about. And that'll leave us 2321 if we actually do this. And the performance is matching. Now, quick note here for Toga. If you've got a button, great. Otherwise, right here on the panel, this set screw below the flight director, believe it's the same in the 777 or the 737, or possibly the 74. I can't remember, but it's the same set screw. Click there. It'll put you into Toga once you get up to your numbers. Now, the checklist is going to tell us to bring the throttles up to 60 or 70%. I bring them to about 60%. Basically, when this line and blue triangle moves around for my throttles, when it gets to about here and lines up with this half circle here, that's when I'll kick Toga in. And then I'll have to advance my throttles with it because otherwise it'll back them down. All right, so there we go, folks. We're on the runway, cleared for takeoff. Let's do it. Lights on. Strobes on. And again, folks, and hopefully I remember, I love turning this one off for some reason. These are your strobes. That's your wing lights. I get them backwards all the time. And heading set. All right, direct, let's see what we're direct here. We'll go direct, let's go. All right, see how it even shows it coming off. So we'll see. We may actually make that map on the takeoff. All right, so well, that's set. That's set, and we're going to be setting to 240. Okay, again, see how that line is kind of showing in line with that. Just something quick and easy for me to reference. We are stable. Let's release the parking brake and go Toga. Oh, got distracted there by the throttle. Sorry, folks. 80. V1. Rotate.
Don't.
Gear up. And we are beginning to go direct. Much better feel to that climb. And there's what I was expecting. All right. Oh, it's that safety guy. Not again. Hang on a second, folks. I am seriously gonna find out where that is. Let's get our flaps up. And let's go into climb. Okay, now what we're gonna be doing here, I'm gonna switch us into climb. So we're already in climb, let's go to climb 2. That's gonna pull our power back even more, soften our climb. And I'm looking real quickly here. I'll let it go this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this
And we're gonna slide out here.
Sign illuminates. You must fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt,
now we're direct
lift the
Wesco.
upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight.
Okay, folks, we are into our climb. We'll be back with you here momentarily. Well, at least this time when I switched out to take the picture of the takeoff, we didn't do a near, if not did hit the tail on the ground, as we did in the last flight. So thank goodness for that. There we go, folks. You can see the city of St. Louis to the north, all along the Mississippi here. The next turn we make will be Wesco. And I just love these, this North American aircraft. I wish I could get the other one. I believe they had one where the whole tail was the American flag. I used to love watching these. I still do work at Mid-America Airport in public safety. I used to see these come in all the time on the charters, and flat out love this airline. It's a shame they've gone defunct quite a while ago. But yeah, just love this airline. Glad I was able to find it in the North American liveries for this aircraft. Along with some other kind of comical ones, that being Alaska Air out of Seattle, which you would think is out of Anchorage, but anyway, they fly them. No, they don't. Airbuses. That's something new, by the way. But anyway, it's kind of funny. But that's okay. I'll fly it. Believe me, don't worry. All right, but there we go, folks. We just crossed the mighty Mississippi, going through the southern parts of St. Louis as we head over to Wesco and then down to Maples on to Fort Smith. We are on our way, folks. Hope you enjoy the ride. Again, folks, like I said before, as we were taxiing, if you like what you're seeing, please click follow. We'd love to have you join the group, the community we're building here. We would that way, when you click follow and you have notifications turned on, you'll know where and when we're flying next online. Which our next flight isn't going to be tomorrow. I work 24 hours. At the firehouse, but the next day and Wednesday, Thursday, I should be able to fly. Flight schedules are up at Twitch, our Discord channel, and on our Facebook page. Speaking of our Discord channel, bring that in here. There it is in the lower right hand corner. If you click that, you can join our growing community over at Discord. That way you can chat with us anytime you want, online, offline, always there. Here it's only when I'm online. But if you click into Discord, well, when we're not flying, you have that ability to reach out to us as well as other flyers and those that have joined our community that may be able to either help you out with a program or just, talk away with you. We love to get that community built up as well. So, and for the Facebook page, get the right browser to pull up again. Put this in the chat room for you, and that'll let you connect with us on Facebook. So we put some of the videos up there, not a whole bunch. We're also on YouTube, but Facebook we just kind of leave open as a way for you to see what our schedule is and all in our YouTube channel. In case you'd like to go see some of these videos as well, there you go. So there you go, folks. That'll get you in contact with us in many different ways, from Twitch to YouTube to Facebook and Discord. Discord's probably the best because, well, it's there 24/7. So anyway, folks, we are on our way. Let's get back up here and get in that cockpit and see where we are. Okay, looking in here, we're coming up to Wesco, which is 23 miles away. Top of climb shortly thereafter, and then Maples. All right, let me clean up a couple things on my other computer here so we're ready for the landing side. And I'm also going to for now bring on the overlay so you get an idea of what our ETA is and all of that good stuff. Also, folks, we do have the Sim Toolkit bot fired up, so exclamation METAR, exclamation route, exclamation predict, exclamation ETE, all of those work. If you put in the METAR, it's exclamation METAR space whatever IKO, for instance KBLV. Example coming for you. Oop. And this is our arrival airport. So it's getting a little better. We'll see how it translates out as we get closer. The exclamation route simply will give you the route. If you put in the exclamation ETE, exactly that. We're an hour and 33 minutes out of Fort Hood, folks. And if you want to, put in a prediction for what you think the landing will be like. Simply follow that format. Exclamation predict space minus and whatever you think the number is that I'll hit. Be nice, don't put 5,000 feet a minute because, well, we just might. No, just kidding, folks. All right, folks, we are climbing out. We're through 18,000 feet right now, so I'm going to zoom in and get us set up here. You'll see the warning come on. All we got to do is click there and away it goes, and we'll roll this one back. I missed it 10,000 feet ago, just happened to notice it, and away we go, folks. We'll get some music rolling here. And start there. So folks, enjoy the ride. We've got an hour and a half to go until we're on the ground in Fort Hood. We'll start the arrival brief, and again, we're probably going to use SkyVector because I'm really just very disappointed in Navigraph, and I don't know if I'll be using them for a while. I'm going to see if the other charts work, but folks, enjoy the music. I'll be right here if you have any questions, comments. By all means, if you just want to chat, let me know in the chat room. But welcome aboard. Enjoy the flight. Alright folks, I'm back with y'all. Had to run to the bathroom real quick, but we're just flying over God's green earth here, so here on the simulator. Wish we could do it in real life, but it is what it is. Alright, so what we're gonna do here, once this song wraps up here in about 20 seconds, we'll get into the arrival proof. Okay, so we're gonna hop into the cockpit right now. We're gonna do it in use Sim Toolkit, but we're going to use it in a way where we don't have to use Navigraph. Alright, so let's get Sim Toolkit in here. And as you can see, we're coming over Fort Smith, right? You're getting close to Fort Smith. We're going to go to SkyVector here. Not going to click Navigraph. And we're a little tight here, so hang on, let me bounce us out so we get them both. Okay, we're still showing as of 1611, so about a half hour ago. We're still instruments there, broken at 700, broken 14,000, overcast 2,700, as you can read there in that yellow box. Also, again, feel free if you need to. I'll go ahead and bring it up for you. If I could spell. And there it is for you in the chat box as well. Alright, so let's talk about the arrival in here. There's only the Runway. So, we've come offline, so we're no longer on VATSIM, folks. It's really busy down here, and I don't want a repeat of yesterday, where it was hard to hear myself talk over all of the traffic. So, and it looks like Houston, well, everyone's swarming Houston and Dallas, and it really got under my skin yesterday, just how annoying it really is. And I know there's nothing VATSIM can do about it, so that's why I've chosen to come offline. Anyway, like I said, we're coming up to Fort Smith. That's right here, and that is Arkansas, by the way. Next up is Waco, which is ACT. And then we're coming in. Alright, so we're going to right click where Fort Hood is, and we're going to bring up the charts. Yeah, that's kind of not what I wanted. Hang on a second. Let me go back. Let me try that again. Okay, here we go. Now we got the chart up. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, now this is the latest and greatest, well, as of 2 May of 18. Basically, what we're going to be doing from ACT, we're going to fly out, and my goal is to bring us in over OKEST, straight down the ILS. Worst case scenario, we'll fly into the VOR at the airport, track outbound, do the procedure turn, come back inbound. So, but anyway, the big things with this is frequency is 111.1, approach course is 153. Runway heading, and see that this is sometimes why I do like SkyVector. Why the JEP charts that Navigraph uses, why JEP doesn't do this, I don't know. I know it's their company, so it's not for me to, to dribble with. But anyway, it's a 9,000, folks, for all intrinsic purposes, It's 10,000 feet long. Elevation 1,015 feet above sea level. There's your frequency bar right here. So we'll be coming in, if we were online, with approach to tower to ground. Any restrictions, I don't see any that are in play. Mauser is what we're going to be dealing with for a approach lighting system, and missed approach will climb to 2,000 feet. Then continue climbing on a right-hand turn to 3,000 feet direct AGI VOR. Gooch Springs identified 112.5. And then from there, go into a hold. Or proceed as ATC tells us to. So we'll see what we run into here. Now, the gray VOR GRK is 111.8. GRK, airport's K GRK, so that gives you an idea. Backtracking out Oak Est, where I hope to just fly direct to and bring us in, is 14.9 DME from gray VOR. And then we'll just track in. Alright, some things to be concerned with on here. NABC, NABCI intersection. As we're coming down the glide slope, we need to be at 2,900 feet or on the glide slope. Either one not met, we go around. Did that kind of yesterday, folks, going into Grand Junction. And we ended up just coming around the pattern and landing. Here it'll be a little more complicated being instrument. Down at the very bottom here, we get our minimums. And let's see here. Looks like 1215 for the MSL or RVR 24. That's our minimums, folks. If RVR says less than 24, we can't come in. And by the way, the 1215 MSL is 200 feet above the ground. So there's our DH. All right, folks, that wraps it up. The only thing left over here, and I'm just plugging in. We'll do an auto break 3 update. Winds are now 140 at 9, same sky conditions. So let me plug that in. 15, go with a wet runway. We'll run with the engine ice on this. Okay, and we don't need 3, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're running with a wet runway, flaps 3. Our numbers are going to be 130 and 135. Let me see if anything changes here. Nope. Alright, so 130 and 135. So 130 is our V approach speed, 135 is our 135 is our approach, 130 is the landing speed. Navigraph, well, look at that, it pulled up. Alright. And again, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything important here. Does not appear Pappy's will be on the left. There's a few things JEP has on theirs that the FAA doesn't on theirs. Alright, so there you go, folks. There's our arrival brief. We're crossing Fort Smith as we speak, and there's a lot of rain pumped up from that tropical system sitting off the coast of Texas. Alright, folks, so let's now take this to where we're plugging it into the gauge here. Hang on a second. I'm just resizing it on my end. There we go. All right. So we go to the departure arrival page. Still on Mid-America, so all you have to do is click Index, then look for KGRK Arrival, ILS 15, and I guess we are going to have to go Kirk. Yeah, we'll go Kirk. We'll fly it out. Execute, and that's it for the ILS. We'll check ACT to Kirk. No. NABC. Okay, we'll shoot it. NABC. I just brought it back up. Oh boy. How about we do this? We'll take OKEST to here, and then we'll fly it in. And we'll do our procedure turn off OKEST. Let me see. It won't show me here, I'll bet. Yes, it will. We will do that. We're going to do just like I said, folks. We're going to go from Waco to OKEST. Remember, that's about 14 miles out. Then NABC, 2,900 feet, and follow it in. That is exactly what we're going to do. We've got it programmed into the FMC. And, folks, currently 170 miles out of top of descent. We're going to play a few more songs till we get within, I believe this checklist starts at 80. And then we'll get things set up so we can get in here. That has most of this set up except a couple things. Yeah, this actually will be perfect. So yeah, we'll see you in about 100 or so miles, and we'll go on from there. And again, folks, thanks for flying with Mike. We're still on cruise on that side. Good. We're on progress here. Y'all have a great day. We'll be sitting here. If you have anything you want to talk about, just keep it away from politics. That's all I ask. Anything else will be, or inflammatory, please keep those to yourself or find a different stream, because we don't need that crap here. So y'all have a great day, and we'll be talking with you here shortly. And again, we're right here, so we'll see you then. All right, folks, well, we're back, and we are less than 70 miles out of top of descent. So with that, let's first run the checklist, and we got to get into the FMC one more time. We'll blow it up here, bring it up, bring it out of the panel here. Head over to the initialization page and verify that our frequencies are correct, and I'm just doing that right now. 15, 111.1 and 153. So yep, they're good. One other thing has happened, folks, in the last few minutes with the last running of the music. The weather is starting to clear, although not 100% in the area, as you can see. Let me bring some Toolkit up here real quick. There and there. So we're looking at the basically the default flight information page here. Gives us the radar as well as other information, and you can see the storms coming in off the coast here. We're kind of in a lull. The only bad thing, it doesn't show the motion. So, but let's take a look though at the METAR. And the nice thing here is it actually spells it out for you as well, folks. So you can read it here. It's also in the chat box. And then it kind of tells you what it means going down here. So I'll leave that up for just a tad bit longer because we're going to be working with the FMC here. So what all this is going to translate out to is we'll do this, hit the landing report, update the weather, and 1656, was that what we were seeing? Nope. Okay, so disregard the weather. Let me try it this way. Okay, there's the current weather. So to read these, folks, you start KGRK's, your airport, the date, the time, Zulu. Auto just means they're doing this automatically. It's 150 at 8, that's your winds, your visibility, and then your clouds. Scattered, few and scattered are good for VFR pilots. Broken, overcast, that's when we got to start looking at. Well, we're IFR, so it don't matter. But anyway, it gives you the levels. The temperature 21/21 or 2421, that's your temp. Dew point 3007 is your altimeter. The rest of that scientific information, it means stuff, but I don't know what it means. I'll just tell you right up front. But anyway, we're going to still go with the wet runway. Let's do a quick run here. See what we get. Looks like the same information. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to show that off so you can see what we're looking at here. All right, so let's bring some Toolkit out of here. Okay, and let's get this FMC programmed up. Now they're calling us at flaps 30 to 131. Well, you know, it's only 1 knot difference. We'll go with it. Oh, and it took 130 as well. Okay, I don't know why it does that. All right, so everything is set up here. Now the only other thing we're going to do, we're going to leave the FMC up. Oh, dadgummit, I always forget. We're going to come down here and set our ILS radio to 1 decimal. There it is, 10, and then put our heading in. Okay, folks, so that's all set. We're on auto, we're set there, good. 122.8. All right, and oh, my bad. Get that back. Okay, there we go. And we're good over there. That's perfect. All right. And 2000, so we're good there. All right, folks, so we're set up. We're now 30 miles from top of descent. We got our information set on our ref page for the approach. And final information. EFIS. Okay, now when it says EFIS, we're talking your information station here. All right, so we want decision altitude set for what's on the chart. Chart says 1215 or 200 AGL. I'm actually going to set for 100. And I'm going to dial this down 1, put on data on my side. And that should get us going here. We'll set the altitude. I'm going to set it to 3,000. Wish there was a faster way, folks. Bear with me. Whoop. To 3,000. And shortly we should begin our descent. It's 19 miles out. Once we start our descent, let's go ahead and
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened, and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seat in front of you.
and if you haven't noticed yet, folks, under the 20-mile ring here, top of descent,
until we are safely parked at the gate.
working his way up.
We hope that you found our flight enjoyable. We would like to remind you that cushions and blankets are to be left in your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that use of all electronic devices during this...
We're going to keep the seatbelt sign off. Got military people on board, folks. Give them a little, benefit. As we cross about 25, 30,000, then we'll turn it on. And don't need that anymore. And we're just watching it. We're now 10 miles out. Okay, and we should be coming on top of descent now any moment, folks. I get all of these sound effects, and did I just get someone to follow? Class Bravo Airspace, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I'm getting used still to some of the new stuff I put onto the stream here. Thank you for the follow. We sure appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you all in future streams. Wednesday's stream, by the way, will be up in Alaska, flying the 208 or the C90 King Air. But anyway, back to the stream. Today's mission is we just crossed top of descent. We're starting down. We're watching to make sure we don't need... I'm going to go ahead and pull the throttles back to be safe. But again, thanks for the follow. We sure appreciate it. That really means a lot to me, that people are liking and following us. Alright, so... yeah, all these new sounds from these alerts that I put on about a week and a half ago, they take me a few seconds to figure out what they are. So sorry about that. All right, so yeah, it's a whole new world when you put these alerts on and you're not ready for them. And I again sure appreciate you, Class Bravo Airspace. Um, without further ado, let's see where we're at here. Going through 32,000. And 75 miles from Waco, just to give everyone an idea. So what we're going to do is begin setting up some of the information we're going to need. First thing is we're going to go do an auto brake 3 arrival. Again, our VREF is 130, approach 135. Don't be surprised if I'm a little faster than that. I kind of like a little bit of speed behind me. Hopefully not more than 150. But we're going to be bringing it down. We may actually be shooting a full Cat 3 approach. We'll kind of see how that works out as well. But, all right, so let's see. METAR one last time. See if they're still updating. Okay, they aren't updating on a regular basis because they're VFR. That's probably why. Okay, so we'll see as we get in closer. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the wing lights turned back on. Okay, we are pushing through 25,000 feet now. Making our way towards Waco. And so far everything checklist item wise are set up here. Our next is transition, where we'll set our altimeters to the latest and greatest setting out there. We'll actually run another update here, hopefully in the next 20 minutes, but we may be on the ground quicker than that and get us an idea of what our latest and greatest altimeter setting is. So, let's go ahead and run one more short song here. Okay, we're going to go into a sterile cockpit now. Okay, and we're coming down to 15,000 feet, so let's go ahead and start into our 10,000 foot checks. Okay, we got the anti-ice on. We'll turn the lights on at or below 10,000 feet, as with the speed brake into armed. We'll actually get that closer to final. Alright, so just going to kind of zoom in here. Well, I'm not impressed with the fault weather depiction here in X-Plane. So far. And I do know that Active Sky is available for X-Plane. May have to get it. Just trying to see. Yeah, it's not looking all that great to me. I was kind of waiting to see how well it looked. I like doing hurricane hunting with some Air Force as well. This doesn't look promising as of right now. Well, I remember the first time, good Lord, this is 10, 15 years ago when I fired up Active Sky. The thunderstorms in the southeast were like, you know, like here, you see just up to this level. Oh no, they went from wherever their base was all the way up into the 30, 40, 50,000 foot range, whatever their tops were. Unbelievable. The hurricane hunting was exactly the same. You could see the hurricanes. You could aim for the eye, get into the cathedral, the Colosseum, where the eye wall was. It was unreal. So, anyway, I digress. Let's get into the cockpit here. We are coming up on 12,000 feet. And I think I'm going to go ahead and turn off data just so it doesn't overwhelm the screen. And I'm going to take one last look at Active Sky. Yeah, Navigraph, we know. You're useless now. Okay, we do have some cells right ahead of us. Okay. So, let me kind of... want to make sure we hit our altitudes. Okay, so we got our speed. We're coming up on 11,000. I'm going to do my last announcements to the peeps in the back. And if he doesn't like it, as they say in my world, poo-poo.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes our aircraft will land at the destination airport. For your safety, we ask you to remain. Fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. When preparing to depart, please make sure to take all your personal belongings with you. Attention international travelers, if you are continuing your flight, follow the signs to international transit area.
Alright folks, we got a wall of clouds we're coming up to, plus the ILS. Now as you look here at the nav display, there's OCEST, and that's where we're going to grab the ILS. And it does not appear to be active, but yet we still got a good 30 miles or so to it. So, And we are now at 10,000 feet. Here come the lights. All right, the lights are on. Let's continue that 10,000 foot check. Lights are on. Speed brake will be as required. VNav will turn off here shortly as we try to control the speeds. Let me get on track here. Okay, we'll zoom in so y'all can get a better look here. Oh, we still got flaps out. Oh my goodness. Wow, I would have swore I had them all up too. Okay, and it looks like our descent prediction, this green half arc here, puts us right at about 3,000 there. What we're looking for is, I believe the localizer should be on this side as we draw in a little closer here. Let's double check that nothing changed on us. I want to see about this. As we drop into the weather. And okay. Yep, everything should be coming alive here shortly. Okay, I'm going to dial us down one more notch here on our side. All right, now it's starting to look a little gloomy in front of us. Let's just make sure nothing's changed. Nope, last check. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and take control of VNav. Dial us down 220. All right, time to get focused. Why are we not seeing our instrument arrival? I hate when it does these things. I'm going to continue us down to 180. There we go. Localizer armed. Okay. And as you can see now, folks, our localizer is right there. Glide slope appears to be right on track. I'm not going to hold my breath yet. Okay, speed brakes are off, so we can come down with a notch of flaps. There, you see the glide slope just went up. And yeah, we have a dog in the cockpit to protect us in case intruders come in, so although I think this one would wag his tail more than protect. All right, so we're going to go for another, we're going to go to 5 on the flaps. Hang on a second, that's annoying me over there, so let me turn it off. Just so you can get a closer look, we're set for 180. We're coming up on crest. 5 degrees flap is out, and we're set for auto brakes 3. Okay, everything's set, and we'll go ahead and go into approach. Okay, we're about to capture the localizer here. Well, hello, Class Bravo Airspace. Sorry I've been a little bit watching over here. Glad to see you follow us, and welcome aboard. You're welcome to join our Discord channel. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to try and land here pretty decently. Hang on a second. Okay, so we're grabbing the localizer now, folks. Let me scroll down here. Okay. One last look. All right, so pressurization set, airspeed bug set, altimeters set, recall. We'll do the recall right here. But again, Class Bravo Airspace, we do appreciate you in the follow. Really hope to see you on future flights, especially when we fly up in Alaska. Okay, so let's drop out another notch of flaps. And now we're going to arm. Now, they say all we got to do is left click the top of the speed brake, so we'll see. I do not have a runway in front of me yet. And go ahead and turn off the weather radar. Nothing seems to be ahead of us. Get through these clouds here and hopefully we'll see the runway. Okay, and here is our 2,900 foot or on glide path mark, NABC. And I think we just grabbed the glide slope. We sure did, so no missed approach as of yet. Now let's slow to approach. Gear down. Okay, looking, I think I see the pappies, but not 100% sure yet, so we'll continue. And okay, they're all lined up. Missed approach. $3,000. Yep, 3,000 set. Okay. Land 3 for now. We'll go for full flaps. Okay, I got the runway. Let's get stable here. Okay, planes
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
500.
Glide slow.
Okay.
Glide slow.
Okay, coming in on the glide slope now. Get some trim in. Looking good on the pappies, stable.
Minimums. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright folks, welcome to Fort Hood. Something tells me this does not look like my chart. Okay, yeah it does. Alright, now the fun part, trying to figure out where I gotta park. Let's come off at Echo. Oop. Okay, if I'm reading this chart right, to the right. Okay. Alright, let's do our final, or off the runway. Off. Now, if I've done this right, what's sitting over here, nope, let me get up to this one, should be the military terminal. Granted, it's not going to look like it. And over here should be the passenger terminal. And there is. Okay, so we did that part right. Now, let's just get in there. Okay, we're gonna quickly go through our checks and flaps. Okay, so after landing, AP's off, auto throttle off, left and right flight directors, auto brakes off, speed brakes down, APU is on, bleed gen, taxi lights, transponder 2, and flaps are coming up. All right, so let's continue our taxi. Let's go ahead and turn the strobes off. Okay. Okay, the hardest part here is gonna be determining where we park. And we'll just park behind him. So I don't see any other places we can park. Okay. All right, brakes are set. All right, folks, welcome to Killeen. We just got a few more items to run through here. Okay, parking brakes are on. All right, let's bleed on, gen on. Here comes the rain. All right, folks, number one's being shut down. Number 2. Okay, back down here, fuel pumps off. Should have done that while I was up there. And hydraulics, engines off. Cargo heat off. Passenger signs off. We're good. So welcome to Killeen. Let's get outside. Take a look at the bird. And we're going to go ahead and pull our electronic flight bag back up. Just because nothing. Okay, ground. Okay, let's throw the chocks in. and fuel truck eventually for the return out of here, and let's start unloading. Oh, doors are closed. Yeah, they can't go out of an airplane with all the doors closed. Now let's try to unload. There it goes. And it'll tell you, folks, like you just saw. All right, we are on the ground here in Killeen, Fort Hood, folks. Hope y'all enjoyed the flight. We also want to say again hello to Class Bravo Airspace. Didn't mean to seem kind of short there, but we were getting close to final. No excuses. 250 feet a minute, I guessed. We landed at 137 feet a minute. I'll take that. Let me close down. Let me show off a little bit of Sim Air Force like I do others. And that will bring over the ACARS program they use for tracking their flights. It's as simple as as you normally see, folks. You just click Finish, File, and away it goes. Now, unfortunately, all flights at Sim Air Force are reviewed by the staff. I'm one of the members of the staff, but you know, we'll look them over and see if they, you know, meet up to standards. But that's it, folks. That's Sim Air Force there. Let me get rid of, where is it hiding? There it is. And let me bring up their website real quick in case you're interested. There we go, and we'll just do that. Trade them off, and so there you go, folks. There's the Sim Air Force website. Let me scroll to the top. Basically, well, here, we'll just, if you're so inclined to fly, now realize this is a virtual special operations unit, meaning you have to go through certain things in order to be part of the organization. There are hoops to jump through. It's not like some of the VAs I belong with where you come on and you can fly anything you want. You got to follow the rules unless you have flight time with military flight organizations out there. They also fly on VATSIM. So anyway, there's their website if you're interested. Let me see if I can bring that up a little bigger for you here as I try and miss the mark every time. All right, so there it is, a little bigger for you. But anyway, it's a good website. Here, let me just kind of show it off just a tad as we come down. Give some basic information. Here's my flight right now. It's at the end saying arrived. As soon as I click refresh, it'll show that the PIREP's pending. But and then some of the flights that have been flown prior to this. So, but again, a good site if you're interested in that. Sure love to have you. There's the newest VATSPY type software. You can see the south or central is pretty loaded up with all the weather here. So folks, what we're going to do here is we've already disconnected from both SimToolkit and the VATSIM. What we're going to do is rewind, take a look at the landing from a couple of other perspectives, and then let me get rid of that. And we'll close out the show. We again thank to Ryan Vols 93 who followed us after the stream yesterday. Class Bravo about 45 minutes or so today. We also want to say thank you too for joining the community we're building. Down in the lower right hand corner you'll see the Discord channel. You're more than welcome to meet us over there. But what I'd like to do here at the end of many of my streams, I learned this from one of our followers, Melvin Leroy, watching one of his streams, rewinding the tape, letting y'all see the landing. So that's what we're going to do here. And bear with me as I get that set up, making sure nothing's going to get harmed. Okay. The only thing I haven't learned is how to get this bar back up. All right, so let's see where we are in the process. A little too far out. That's fine though. All right, so there we go. Let's cue up some music. Appropriate grand finale. We'll kind of speed it up. Let's see how this looks from this angle. Make it a little closer. Wow, that really did look good. Spoilers and okay. Well, let's roll it back. See how it looks from this vantage. The only thing I see with the flight factor, if I'm going to complain about anything, is the spoilers should come up as soon as the landing gear compress. Beyond that, folks, oops, let's try from this one. See, the flaps are full, slats are fully out. Well, so far so good. Everything's looked really good coming in here, folks. We'll get her out just a little ways. Switch to the tower view, see how this looks. I like this tower view. I can't even see the plane. Man, that was a great landing. Stealth and everything, folks. Gotta love it. Oh, Oh, that was great. That made my day. Made a stealth approach, folks. Couldn't do that again if I tried. Alright, so let's come out here, folks. Alright, so let's go. Oh man, I did that again, didn't I? Alright, folks, this is when I wish I knew how to get that back up. It's gonna put us right back where we started. Oh wow. How did we crash? That's kind of funny. I don't know what caused this, folks. But what a way to end the tape. Don't get that at all. Alright, well, folks, we thank you for flying with Mike, and hope you have a great day, and we're going to try and figure out what the heck just happened. So y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time. No, may not be doing replays much anymore. Y'all have a great day. God bless.